Hi, I'm getting ready to put a fuse binding on my little quilt, Woodland Secrets. I've finished my machine quilting on this, and I've squared up my edges. This measures 12 inches square, and I've marked with chalk pencil 1/2 inch in around all 4 edges, and that's going to be the guide for me to lay down my binding. I've cut 4 strips of binding that are 1¼ inches wide. I've used a decorative blade and a straight blade to cut these out with, so one side has a decorative edge on it and the other side has a straight edge on it. Remember, when you're cutting out using decorative blades, you want to turn your mat over to the back side because these blades can scar your mat. And the first thing then I will do is I'll do either 2 opposite sides. It's very easy for me to see that guideline, and I can just lay down my decorative edge right over the chalk line on either side of my little quilt. I have it sitting on top of a piece of pressing sheet, or you could use parchment paper, that would work too. And now I'm going to just take my hot iron and press it right in place. It's a little bit hard to see because I have matched the binding to the top of my quilt for this little quilt, but I think you can still see pretty nicely. I'm going to go ahead and fuse that side down, and then I'll come back and do the other 2 sides, and you can see how I deal with the corners. Okay, I did one side. Now I'm going to flip this up on the back side, and I'll fuse that in place with my hot dry iron. Pretty straightforward there. And I will come in then and trim out the edge on each of the corners. Okay, now I'm going to do the 2 opposite sides. I have laid that right across my drawn line, and because I cut these out at least 1 inch longer on either than the longest side of my quilt, I have about 1/2 inch to 1 inch hanging off of the edge that I'm going to turn under when I do these second 2 sides of my little quilt. I'll turn it over to the back side, and before I turn that side up, I'm going to flip that corner in just like that. I'll move this up so you can see that, and press it with my iron. I've got a little extra piece of fusible here I'm going to peel off of my paper, and I'm going to put it right there so that when I bring up this edge, like so, it will catch it and it will hold it in place. I also want to kind of squeeze that corner in a little bit so it doesn't hang out on the front side. I'll do my edge all the way over, and then I'm going to turn this here, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to fold that little corner in, give it a little press so it stays in place, like so. Take my little extra piece of fusible, put it right there, and then bring that edge up so that it all is enclosed. And the reason I do that is because no matter what, they get a little wear and tear on my corner, so I want to encase it so that it's nice and secure. And I think you can see that, and then I'm going to top stitch this. So I'll show you the top stitching in our next section. Now you can see I've bound all 4 sides. I've tucked in the corners so that they're nice and secure, and it's looking pretty good on the front side as well. I'm going to top stitch that, and next time I'll show you the top stitching. I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to use a heavy thread in the bobbin to give a little texture to the edge of this little quilt. So I'll do a little bobbin top stitching next time.